You ever look at a program and think, wow, this app is so cool. I wonder if it can play Bad Apple. Well, you're in luck because today I'm violating 4 different apps by forcing them to play videos, which means things that were never meant to be video players will now attempt to display Bad Apple at full and questionable speed. Alright, we're going to start off pretty easy with the browser. The great thing about video is that it's essentially just an overglorified list of contiguous images that appear and disappear so fast that your brain views them as one continuous entity. So first things first, we need to take an existing video and break it up into individual frames and audio. Now, I'd be lying if I said I figured this part out on my own, because everyone knows coding is more about stealing other ideas and gluing them together than it is about coming up with your own solution. And presto, I just created the first piece of my program after blatantly copying and pasting code without citing any sources. So we have all of our images stored, but if we double click a JPEG file, it opens up in the default app, which is definitely not Google Chrome. So how do we display them in the browser? Well, in order to display images in Chrome, I went through a very complicated process where I had to write a custom WebGL render in Rust. Or just right click the file itself and select the open with option. You can also copy and paste the file location into the address bar yourself with this file prefix, which, if you like, can actually be used as a really crappy UI for your directories. So let's test this puppy out with Bad Apple. Okay, it's displaying the browser, and oh no, you're only supposed to display one browser. Just let me hit the stop button, please. So guys, let this serve as a reminder to all of you to double check your code before running it. And we are so back, baby. Now let's display a slightly more complicated clip of me drinking coffee.
Well, here I am, just sitting in my chair, at peace with the world and enjoying life to the fullest. Also, this mug is empty.
And once again, it works quite well. Overall, pretty successful. Okay, so very similar process as before, where we want to break the video up into frames and audio. One of the big differences though, is that instead of storing multiple files, we actually want to add all of our images to the same PDF file, where each page will have exactly one embedded image. Now I want to see if I can actually run this from Chrome, and using Selenium, I should be able to modify the contents of this input box to update the page number. And it failed. I'm absolutely shocked. Oh lucky me, it's contained in a closed shadow root which has more security than my fucking bank account. Now I'm pretty sure there are ways around it, but this is probably one of those rabbit holes that will cause me to go insane if I do. Another solution is to include the page number in the URL, but in order to get it to actually go to that page, I need to update the page number, hit the enter key, and then reload the screen, which is not only slow, but there's also a split second where the whole document disappears. And I would show that just for a good laugh, but I also don't want to trigger anyone with epilepsy. So you're just going to have to imagine a PDF helplessly spazzing out 24 times a second for the whole duration of Bad Apple. Now, I was originally going to play the videos in Adobe Acrobat by embedding JavaScript into the PDF, but sadly, the only thing I was able to do was display an alert. The real solution we're going to use is actually PyMute PDF, which I would explain, but we have documentation for a reason. And after implementing the necessary code, we run the program, and great, it froze. Okay, let's make a small modification, and aha! My video runs. When we open the file, it contains literally every frame used in the video, which is like a million pages. Now that got me thinking, wouldn't it be crazy if someone sent this to their friend and had them open it with like zero context? Like, what? Why did you send me 10,000 images of a dancing anime girl? What is this? Why is it so addictive? Next app. This was definitely the most annoying app to work with. So first of all, there's a whole setup process you have to go through in order to use the Google Drive and Slides APIs, which allows you to generate a JSON file that stores a token needed to use those APIs. This is probably the easiest way for us to fully automate the process of taking a video and having it run in Slides. Now you might be wondering why I didn't just use PowerPoint for this. And there's actually a very sophisticated answer to this question. I didn't want to. After an hour of banging my head against my laptop hoping a valid token would somehow appear out of thin air, I was finally greeted by the following output for the Google Slides presentation I set up. As you can see, the output describes what I have in each of my slides, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Let's say I add some other really cool stuff to it. If I run the script again, you can see that it now displays the updated details on the presentation. In order to make this video player work, I have to add every frame to Google Drive and make them all public. So if you're watching this and you happen to find 4,000 images of Bad Apple, it's probably my Google Drive. Now, I use AI to vibe code most of it because the documentation didn't have enough colorful pictures to keep my attention span in check. Also, I think I should mention that this was my third video player, so I was getting kind of burned out if I'm being honest. But yeah, the great thing about Google Slides is that we can actually get the presentation to automatically play and have each slide displayed for any amount of time. However, I do need to make it public. So after doing that, I have a link that will autoplay the presentation and display each slide for 0.1 seconds, which should be 10 FPS, assuming there's no other problems. Perfection. And just for fun, here's a video of Vsauce being Vsauce, I guess.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. Do you want my head delivered to your door in a box?
Bruh.
And now it's time for the app everyone has been waiting for, MS Paint. So let's quickly switch over to my Windows machine to get this party started. I do want to mention that I will be using the Windows 11 version instead of the classic one, so you can put all of your hate comments in this bin, which I'll definitely make sure to read after the video. Oh, fuck. To break the video into frames, I'm going to use the same code I used for the other 3 apps. Now that we have that out of the way, all we have to do is open Paint and start pasting the images onto the canvas. I have my copy, paste, and audio feature set up, so let's see how it goes. Wow, at this frame rate, I got all the devs at VLC pissing their pants over this masterpiece. So then I tried to optimize it, and I don't know how, but I somehow made it even worse. I'll be honest though, I kind of like this cursed low FPS look, but I'll revert it back to what it was before. However, I actually think it should be relatively easy to add a play/pause button, which I know isn't going to improve the frame rate, but I mean, hey, it'll definitely spice things up. So here we go. We can now start and stop Bad Apple whenever we want from inside Paint. And I'm also very happy to announce that we have come full circle with my first video. This is a drawing app inside of a video player, being displayed in an actual drawing app that is now being used as a video player, which you are currently watching from a different video player. I never thought I would witness such a beautiful thing, but here we are. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. After reading the poll I sent out a few weeks ago, it looks like there's a lot of people who really want me to make more videos where I force apps to do things they weren't intended for. My future videos will probably lean in that direction unless you guys say otherwise. So feel free to comment on an app you want me to look into and what I should force it to do. I also plan on having some more interactive type videos, similar to the first one I made that I think you'll find very interesting. Until next time, thanks for watching. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you.